Hey, what's up, YouTube? If you're back here, yes, you should have been here because we decided to do part 3 on the same day. I was supposed to hide that, but I forgot in the few seconds that I did this. So if you don't mind watching my stupid antics, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified. Helps out the channel. We're almost to 120 subscribers. I remember when I just hit 50. Thank you guys so much for actually paying attention to the message and liking the channel. This is part 3 of the grand debate between Candace Owens and Cornel West. Right now, it's not looking too good for Candace. She's in last place with a couple of bad ideas and a couple of roundabout circular arguments. We're seeing if she actually says anything that leads to something that's beautiful.
I used to wear baggy clothes to speak with a deep voice. I was in 4th grade because I just thought the boys were cooler. My mom didn't shave my head and call me Michael. Teachers didn't call me Michael. I was still Candace. And then a couple of years later, I went via.
How old is Candace Owens? "32 years old. She was born in 1989. "1985. So she was born 4 years after a brand new science was invented. Not invented to the stake, but stabilized. So with the lack of information because of systemic issues in the black community, I could make a reach and say, your parents just didn't know. And if you would have gotten that, you wouldn't have taken it because you would have just said, no, I'm a girl. You would just keep saying, I'm a girl. Acting and being trans are two completely different things. And they think it's an act. That's the whole problem with the Republican Party. They think it's an act.
A couple of years later, I went through puberty, and suddenly I thought the guys were cute, right? And that's what's being disrupted now that they're trying to normalize allowing children to go under hormone therapy. When
you know how long it takes? You think they're just 9-year-olds? Outrage. Agitprop. Oh, it's just happening all over the place. We allow them to. You know how many psychological examinations they have to go through? That have to have the parents' consent?
And they haven't even hit puberty, or allowing these children to say that they're different people. It's confusing.
That's really going to make the black community snap.
I didn't know about any community. We're not just talking
more
about
black.
Black.
More,
Yeah, black
white people are more, okay, my son's a girl.
Yeah, no. Black moms,
people
you're not calling,
I ain't having it.
calling my...
Run that shit back real quick.
White people are more, okay, my son's a girl.
Yeah, no. Black moms,
people
you're not calling,
I ain't having it.
I ain't having it. Why do you think black people are like that? Why? Yo, if I have to begin to explain that shit. That's what I'm saying. He almost did the finger snap. I ain't having it. Like, what's the head nod? What's the bob? That's black people for you? Bobbing, shucking and jiving, asshole.
Calling my son, I don't have a son yet, but let me find out that some school is calling my son by a name that I didn't give him. Black moms will show up 100%.
I would argue that the whole trans movement is the end of black support of the left. They pushed it too far.
Right.
I think a lot of the left sees blacks as their pets, and they're going to lose their pets. The pets are going to start misbehaving now.
They do treat us like pets.
No, but when
When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Dylan Roof. Oh, that's why they execute us. That's why police be doing what they be doing, because we pets. Thanks for saying the quiet part out loud.
when you talk about just as a Christian, for me, I begin with the notion that anybody, any gender, creature with a language made in the image and likeness of God, they have a sanctity. That's why I say precious trans folk. They got the same sanctity that I have, that my daughter, my son, anybody else has.
I agree, 100%.
And that's just a spiritual truth that I hold on to, whether it's popular or unpopular. I'm just going down with it.
I agree with you.
But then when you move into society, you see, I don't want any kind of social engineering
That's what I'm.
Well,
That's
in
what's
fact,
happening.
You're getting folks saying, "Okay, this is the only way to go." No,
That's what's happening.
See, I
No,
I
it's
don't know
not.
about that. If I saw that kind of thing,
Yeah,
I'd be
I'll
critical
send you
of
something on it a bit.
But it's so easy to fall into a kind of dehumanizing mode, and I come from a people who've been dehumanized so easily. Black folk, brown folk, poor whites, gays, lesbians, Jews, Muslims. We got long histories of being easily dehumanized.
Yes,
and
I agree with you.
normalized.
But when we're so determined to be tolerant, we tend to tolerate intolerance, especially from Islam.
This bullshit. Oh my God. This bullshit. What did Enrique Tarrio say? Your man's even said it. Your man's even said it. That's bullshit. He's lying now too. His man said, hold on, because I don't want to do this and then look stupid on the internet when people say, that never happened. When we begin to tolerate, we tolerate intolerance. You're a fucking liar! Ah!
Everyone talks about Charlottesville and Heather Heyer. Obviously a catastrophe.
And I was with Heather just 20 minutes before she died.
You were?
Oh yeah, I was right there.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I was standing right there. The neo-Nazi brothers were spitting on us, telling us off and so. We were singing this little light of mine. You know, I'm not clergy, but they were clergy. I'm just Christian. I'm a lay person. And we were right there, and Heather was right on the side. We were talking just 20 minutes before she was hit. You see, and she was just a magnificent human being, very young, very committed.
But this whole concept of fighting
But
hate,
any
which we all
religion
advocate,
can be used, though, brother. I mean,
No, but
Islam's
let me-
got fascist versions.
but we hear so much about this stupid
My cam's
Zionist
bugged?
crap that I'm
Oh,
just
it
sick of
froze.
hearing about.
I see
No one
why.
talks about the West Side
Thank you.
Highway.
The West Side Highway.
Yeah, where 6 people were killed, 8 were killed by a jihadist. No one talks about Fort Hood, about the beheading in Oklahoma, about the Orlando shooting at Pulse nightclub, about
Nobody-
San Bernardino.
nobody
We
talk-
hear about Heather Heyer literally more.
Hold on.
8 talks about the West Side Highway.
The West Side Highway.
Yeah, where 6 people were killed, 8 were killed by a jihadist. No one talks about Fort Hood, about the beheading in Oklahoma, about the Orlando shooting at Pulse nightclub, about San Bernardino.
Literally, those are all the headlines. He's skipping over the one where that guy blew himself up with a vest on Christmas Day. Remember? And it leveled like 3 blocks or some shit like that, or it leveled like half a block. I'm sorry, let me not. Nobody's talking about it? We're talking about it. You're not. That's why on your side, nobody's talking about it, because you don't care.
We've heard about Heather Heyer literally more than all of those other victims combined. And every time you see these hate groups where they're out there to stop hate and hate watch and SPLC, ADL, it's just skinhead, Nazi, zero jihadists, zero jihadi training camps.
And quite frankly,
Well,
I
we
agree
gotta
with
tell
you.
the truth.
And
We
I
gotta tell
think
the
that what
truth.
really, gets really, well, some black people can get very upset with me because I say, you want me to focus on white supremacy when we know that 95% of black Americans that are killed by other black people.
She went to the black on black crime. Here we go. Because you know what's coming. Guys, you know what's fucking coming. You know what's coming. You know what's next. And if you don't and you're on YouTube, I'm going to just prep you for it. She gonna say the 1350 rule. I swear to God, it's coming out. I can feel it in my loins. It's coming. Prep yourself for it. I do not want to spend the entirety of this video talking about the disparity in black on black crime. That is not a thing, however, because if you put any people in close proximity to other people, more people will die. That is it. If we stuffed all of America into one building, the amount of arguments that would form would be too easy. Think about it. Think about a building where half the people in it are conservative and half the people in it are and we're not going to even say liberals, we're going to say leftists. like hardcore socialist anarchy heads. And they have to have a meeting every week on what happens with the building. How long do you think it takes before somebody gets shot? How long do you think it takes before somebody gets jumped? They do it mafia style. Condensed areas are made in worse conditions to lower the property value. Therefore, poorer people, which by fact of systemic wealth inequality are black, brown, minorities, my API community. I had to get through that one. Everybody who don't make enough money, poor whites, have to end up closer together. Lack of resources leads to a hunger mentality. You got to do what you got to do out there to survive. The more riskier it gets, the more threatened you feel, to the point where if I hear somebody's getting shot up tonight, I'm carrying my gun on me. You follow thou shalt not kill. I follow get them before they get me. That's a bar. That's the reality. If you want to go into a deeper dive into it, I'm not going to make excuses and say, inner city violence is because everybody's naturally more violent. There's completely no personal responsibility in it. But without the options, I'm not mad to say that without those options, I can see why people would do that. I can see why people are doing that. So let's work towards creating a dialogue in which we tell them this hurts our community because it hurts our community, not because white people view us as that. Like, you see what I mean? She's saying it and the white people view us as that mentality. That's shit. That's a shit argument.
19 a day.
95%.
Yeah.
So my chances, I should be more afraid sitting next to a black man. All right, than if you're looking at just statistics. People don't like that because that's the truth. They don't like that.
What? I hate this. I hate number people. What's the reason behind the numbers? And we did this with Steven Crowder. And he showed up a graph. And we showed you in the graph how he was lying to distort the figures.
Better. Let's focus on the white supremacy. Let's focus on this area, which basically never happened if you're looking at statistics, because you don't want to talk about fixing our communities. And when I spoke at the White House 2 weeks ago, I spoke about Tyshawn Lee.
It does happen.
Yeah, but 95%.
Disproportionate.
The number.
Every year,
yeah.
of black Americans that are killed in a homicide event are killed by other black people. And that's not even including Hispanics. So maybe another 3% were killed by Hispanics, who knows? We're talking about a slither of people, black Americans, that are killed by whites in this country annually. And yet the focus on it would make you think.
This is, you know why the argument shit? And I realize that people are typing that YouTube comment right now. Stop. Stop for a second. I just realized why that argument shit. What are the reasons why black people kill other black people? If 95% of black people are killed in a homicide event by black people, is it because they're black? Is there racism between black people in that degree? Or do the murders happen because of drug deals, gang territory, fighting to survive? Yo, we're gonna hassle you every day you come outside unless you grab this gun and shoot this dude for us. We might kill you and then just kill the other dude anyway. Oh. But why do white people kill black people? When is that usually the case? No. Fuck that. Don't bring logic into this shit. You know we not logical right now. We on straight emotion, baby. I already brought that up too. Proximity. Put more white people. Put a white. Oh my God. Okay, let's go. Let's do it this way. What was the point of Get Out then? What, did you watch the movie? Were you there?
It's happening every single
Were
day.
you there?
That's my problem, because you want to know what that says? That says that they're purposely having us focus on things they're never going to fix our community, okay? If we want to talk about fixing our communities, you got to talk about gang violence, because that's, and I spoke about that at the White House, Tyshawn Lee, a 9-year-old kid who got shot point blank, lured into an alley and shot point blank because of gang violence, because someone...
Oh my God, she said it. She said it, and she's using that as the argument. I just told you why. What she just said makes jack shit sense. You want to fix gang violence, but not white supremacy. Fix the neighborhoods, you get the Tulsa massacre again. You're not getting me here. Yes, the problem exists in the community because black people live with more black people and are generally poorer. So couple that with what you just said. Why does that violence exist? Lack of resources. That's why crime is down in white neighborhoods, because they all don't need each other's resources. We all got our own house. You do that. Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle? Did you not get the joke about the poor, wild, crazy white family? Did anyone not notice that black people in Malcolm in the Middle were never perceived as anything but intelligent, but also at the same time poor? They were well off. There was a dentist. They were in a singing group. You didn't get that? You didn't see the irony in Hal being the only white guy in that group? There was a point to that cast. They were making that statement within a funny context that you didn't even have to pay attention to. Have you not been, like, looking at that? And if you say for a second, that's not true, the fucking actors have said it. The fucking director has said it. Like, do you not know this? Oh no, you tuned out at that part of the documentary. You tuned out at that part of the behind the scenes.
Had a hit against his father, so they decided to kill his son.
Yeah.
The guy was laughing in court. Everybody turns away from it. We're not going to talk about it because, it was happening in our community. Let's instead go out and protest in the strange event that a black American gets shot by a police officer unarmed. And this is the crap that I say.
Fix the community first, then we'll deal with the systemic issues. How are you going to do that if the systemic issues are creating the issues in the community?
They have you looking
Circular
at
logic. There
never,
is
ever,
no
ever
middle
gonna happen,
point.
right?
It's
That's
my way
never
or the
gonna fix
highway with
anything
them.
because they know that we're slaughtering ourselves.
And if you say for a second, well, isn't it my way or the highway with you? No, motherfucker. That's not what we're talking about right now. Separating yourself from this thought can still split you into personal responsibility and systemic issues. I'm telling you, they view it as a zero-sum game. That's why the agitprop works. That's why black conservatives follow in those footsteps. Because the grift is in white people hearing, yeah, black people finally talking about the issues with black people and not what we cause. Thank God I have to pay attention to that.
Faster rate, and that's what they want.
But two things. One is that there is a difference between a policeman who kills a person and a citizen killing another citizen. Because the police represent.
True, but they're killing 19 a day.
Hey, look, here we go. They're killing 19 a day. What about white? Have we looked at white on white crime? Do you want to talk about white? The image alleges, for example, that 81% of white murder victims are killed by blacks. Data from the FBI and the U.S. Department of Justice show on the contrary that more than 80% of white murder victims are killed by whites. Yeah, see? Blacks killing blacks, 97%. Blacks killing whites, 81%. Pissing off liberals. Interracial violent crime, BJS. Oh God. We already, somehow we have already been on this chart. That's how bad it is. But this is weeks ago. I don't know. I'm just liking shit. Did you read? Anyway, bullshit, right? So we know that. That's bullshit.
Oh, no,
19 a
well, I
day.
mean,
The
your
blacks
numbers,
are like
absolutely.
10 a year.
And we have to speak the truth.
Yeah,
And so the truth that you talk
He
about,
getting tight right now.
disproportionately black on black violence is something that you have to speak to. But the second point is this, though, that there are a number of folk in the black community who both talk about it and try to organize against the black on black violence. You
So
get
why
it with
aren't they? Why
preachers,
don't they
you
have the
get it with
platform that these Black Lives
because,
Matter groups have?
well, one is
Chat. Why don't the people inside of the communities have enough willpower to change the communities? Is it because they can't provide the resources? They can only have the discussions on it. Save a gun, save a life. But now I'm caught lacking. It's not hard. This is not hard. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I'm ready to debate one of these top tiers. I'm sorry. I'm ready to go into we're opening the Discord. We're opening the Discord. It's time. It's time. I'm ready. You swinging the same talking points, and the guy is trying to speak to you with empathy, and you're just literally shutting out everything he says.
It's because you got a liberal media that does not want to put a spotlight on black people organizing themselves and dealing with problems inside of the black.
Oh, why does Black Lives Matter have the platform that these people don't have? Well, remember how the media still tried to demonize Black Lives Matter anyway? I wonder if it takes that much willpower and that much protest to get to that point where they're coming after you. What do you think the little guy is dealing with? Take money out of politics? Oh, but you don't want that.
Community.
Because that would help us.
Well, I mean, that's a certain white supremacist sensibility.
Right, and that's what I say. So agree.
Absolutely, but that does not mean, though, that you don't want to keep these police accountable when they shooting these young folk day in and day out.
Accountable. They go
Not
to
day in
jail.
and day
They
out.
lose their
They
pension.
go to jail. They got one going to jail.
They go to jail. They go to jail. They go to jail. They lose their pension. That little Derek Chauvin might not lose his pension. So you fucking lying. Look at his face. Like you can't be. That's the perfect face. That's another meme. That's another meme. That's another meme.
Hold up.
You got one going to jail out of all
Let's
these
correct
shootings.
the record. This is not happening day in, day out. In the year where they made it seem like it was the absolute worst, in 2016, 16 unarmed black men were shot and killed. By rate, more white men were killed by...
It's 1,000
But also,
in the
unarmed-
country.
unarmed can mean was armed. It can mean trying to kill you with the car.
That's correct. 16, even if we're being generous, 16, you had a higher chance as a black American man of being struck by lightning than you did of being shot unarmed. Okay.
Okay, sis, you have a greater chance of winning the lottery. There's more of a chance that my computer can explode right now than a chance of me winning the lottery, so I guess I should be scared of my computer exploding. You fucking dipshit. Like, this is bad. This is literally the worst way to ever frame any of these arguments. I want you to look at my eyes right now, chat. I want you to look at them. Do I look like I'm having fun right now? Like I'm loving it. Like I'm doing the job. I'm doing the don't fuck with me on that. But like this is the best you have to offer? You get in the room with Cornel West and this is your swinging points? Oh my God, stop wasting this poor black man's time.
Okay, white men were killed by police officers at a higher rate, as were Hispanic men. We know none of their names because it was a narrative. It was all about the black vote. They jump a narrative.
How do you know? Do you know their names? See how she won't say it?
They decide who they're going to go after. In 2016, it happened to be police officers. We're going to see who it is in 2020. This is not about helping to save black lives. You can't tell me that you're focusing on 16 lives when a more unsafe place for a black person to be would be in its mother's womb. We're slaughtering our offspring at a way faster rate, and we have more black babies being aborted than born alive in cities like New York. So to me, it's all a farce, and I think it is because the liberal media
but you and I are critical of liberal media, but I think you have to have a bit more open-mindedness at the spectrum and the continuum. We've got statistics on the percentages of black men who will be pulled aside in a car. The percentage of men who, when we went to jail in New York City about 8 years ago here with the stop and frisk, when you had over 90% of the folks stop and frisk were young black brothers and brown brothers.
Those are
not killings. Those are not killings.
Right.
They were disproportionately pulling over whites.
No. Oh, not at all.
As they appeared in the crime stats, yes.
Nine 9%, 10%, 8%, 10%, 11%, 12%, 11%, 10%, 9%, 9%, 10%, 11, 12. it was even all the way across the board. The only rates that fluctuated were the black and Latino people. Matter of fact, those those barely moved as well. So he's lying. Gavin McInnes is lying right now. You say, well, you said that a bunch of times already. We get that he's lying. Look at the people in the room, look at the conversation we're having right now, and tell me that's not a problem, that he literally thinks that, even when confronted with the truth and reality. Who's the wrong person here? Objectively, no bullshit. He's literally lying. He's a Weasley little liar, dude. I can't believe I'm going back to that meme. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude.
No.
The way
Even
blacks
when
and
the
whites
judge
appeared in the
don't
New York
look-
crime stats, they were pulled over less than that. There was more whites pulled over than they appeared in the crime stats.
But you remember the woman who
Bloomberg even conceded that.
who was the
But it's not a disproportionate percentage of those who witness and victims describe as committing murders. In other words, he wasn't conceding that that's it. He's saying that, like, we're clearly not catching the right people, so maybe we should stop, like, stopping whites so much in the little factor that they do, and we should press more minorities. He's fucking lying. He's fucking lying. He's lying. The little piece of shit weasel is fucking, and we just disproved that. That man is the leader of a nationalist movement. And he has the facts in his head that white people are under oppression.
judge when she went through all the statistics and said, "My God, under Bloomberg,
Yes,
you had
and she was
over
later
3
fired for
point something
incompetence.
No.
She was a boob.
Yeah, no.
I'll
but
say something.
but
I'll ask a
jump right in.
question.
Sure.
Black Americans, we make up 13% of the
Fucking toucan Sam looking motherfucker.
Competence.
No.
She was a boob.
Yeah, no.
I'll say something. I'll ask. Black
I want to
Americans,
say some dumb
we make
shit
up
right now, but no
13% of the
Italiaphobia on my.
population,
That was a
and we
horrible
account
Italian
for
accent.
over
I've done much
50%
better
of
in
all
the
homicides
past.
in this country. Is it possible that we're getting arrested more because we're committing more of the crimes?
No!
Oh, no.
Go all the way back to the first video I ever uploaded as the paradigm shift. Back when I wasn't even the paradigm shift, I was fucking just Marquise. Oh my God, if that was true, then why did that cop almost kill me for doing my job? Why did he think I was a criminal off rip? Because police think black people are criminals, so they'll find any reason to stop you. What are crimes are we committing? What are crimes? Society things society fuck you. The amount of weed, like, oh, weed is bad, it's legal now. Let them people go. All those arrested folk that committed all those crimes, that shit is a farce. Wow, she is really full of shit. Really full of
No, in
just
terms of
wow,
getting
like,
arrested.
It's like, what do you even begin to say to that? How do you even begin to phrase, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, holy shit.
I'm talking homicides. 13% of the population.
We're
over
talking about police
57%.
killing or being pulled over
Okay, so you're
for driving
you're
in the
saying
car
for-
and so forth. When in terms of the sheer number of homicides, you've got a disproportionate number of poor black people, disproportionately men.
Well, we're
who
disproportionately committing the
have-
crimes in this country, all of them, across the
No,
board.
not all of them. No, not white collar crime.
Oh my God, it was literally the word I was about to say. I was going to say, really, black people be doing tax evasion? Like, yo, I was just about to say that. Who are the people, like, the financial crisis was caused by the hedge funds. None of them niggas went to jail. Yo, you're fucking kidding.
Not
me.
Wall Street crime.
I'm talking about
You're talking about
violent crimes.
you're talking about like
White collar
murder and
crimes,
so-
I-
yes,
I-
absolutely,
you're
absolutely.
correct
No,
about that.
you're right.
It just
about
sounds
that.
like there's a lot
Absolutely.
of disingenuous agenda
That's my
with
thing.
the
It's
left.
like, just be
And at the
real.
beginning of
But
this,
the
you were
problem
saying,
is, though, you got to have a press that is open enough to deal with all of these issues candidly, and that's what
press
we
is
don't
obsessed with the Nazi shit. They're obsessed with hate. We live in a racist society. It's way worse than it was in the 70s and the 80s. We've gone backwards in time. And the thing I hate about that narrative, like I've got these friends, Max Hare, John Kinsman, they're Proud Boys. Proud Boys are a multi-racial club. There's gays, Jews in it, and they all love Trump. The DNC is pounding on them. They're a hate group. These guys are getting sentenced next week, Max Hare and John Kinsman. 3.5 years would be best case scenario, could be 15, because Antifa jumped them, and it was like the third Antifa fight of the night. Antifa jumped them and they beat up Antifa. And the court said, you beat them up too much. And because of the Nazi narrative, the jury went, throw the book at him. One of the guys has 4 black kids. And he might not see those kids for 15 years because he fought back after an ambush. And it's the
You know how you say that the media always paints white people to be these nice, caring people while they always look up all the dirt on black people? If you think that's not true, take a look at what he just said.
idiotic Nazi narrative.
They call me a Nazi sympathizer. They call me
You are a Nazi sympathizer.
a person that supports Hitler. I mean, this is
You literally quoted Hitler. She dismissed critics who said her comments meant that Hitler could have been great if he had just focused on Germany. No, I'm saying Hitler wasn't a Let's see what she said. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. That's a problem. I think that it gets the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about whenever we say nationalism, the first thing that people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a national socialist. I hate that. Literally, you know the history. I don't have to explain that. But if Hitler wanted to just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German. Everybody to speak German. Everyone to look a different way. To me, that's not nationalism. That's literally nationalism. Fascism. So, yeah.
You're exactly right. They overuse that term, and the problem is that when you do that, when you're willing to paint such a broad stroke that you start calling black people white supremacists, it becomes very hard to take you seriously.
They call it multi-racial white supremacy.
But you know, one of the
Multiracial white supremacy. I am begging anyone who is willing to listen right now, please watch American History X. It literally covers the groundwork of the last 21 years. The film is more relevant now than it was back then, and it was fucking like the point back then. Please watch American History X. It literally covers this.
The irony of the Charlottesville was, well, 2 things. One, I saw a black man marching with the neo-Nazis when we were being spit at and cussed out.
No,
So I said,
You know why? Because
he was not a neo-Nazi.
no, I didn't say
There was-
neo-Nazi. He's marching
No,
with
he wasn't.
them.
There was 2 rallies that day. There was the statues.
That's what I was gonna say. It was about
and
the
then there was the
statues.
neo-Nazi crap after.
And it was
When
separate.
Trump said there's good people on both sides,
That's what he was talking
about the statue
Yep.
rally.
There were people that were just
No,
there.
but-
That were there, just
2
there.
rallies.
Black people that were there protesting because they didn't want the statue torn down.
Please keep the people who thought slavery was an important choice in American history. Please keep their memory alive by keeping the statue up. Please do it. Yes, please. These we want to keep the memory of the exact people who were fucking keeping us as slaves and skinning us for leather. Yeah, please keep their statues up. This is about to get real personal for me in this last minute.
Yeah,
At
but
all.
But
And
these
then they
folks, I'm
mix
talking about the
them with
one
the
with the
neo-Nazis.
mask and had the live ammunition with the neo-Nazi signs.
What, the Dukes, I mean the Dukes Hazard, the Confederate flag? Or neo-Nazi signs?
It was a combination of Confederate flags and neo-Nazi signs. You know,
I'm not even going to look that up on
there's about 29 groups there. So it was a heterogeneous group of right-wing folk willing involved in violent activity.
They were right-wing folk because only conservatives would care about the Confederacy.
That whole thing was
But
a
the other
bizarre
thing,
shit
too,
show
you
that
see,
we talk about
And
way
if you are somehow a Democratic person and you care about the Confederacy, the thing literally belongs to Republicans. It is an exclusively right-wing thing. Come on. Come on. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Come on.
You talk about Antifa to you. See, Antifa actually saved a number of our lives from being attacked in Charlottesville, because there was all of a sudden, we were standing there, and as they walked by.
For my battle rap fans, it just still reminds me of Easy, the Block Captain. That's a fact. I was there. I was there.
After about 20 minutes, it got more and more intense. Police pulled back completely.
That's what jeopardized your life.
Police pulled back completely.
The mayor trying to cause a scene.
Well, this was a crucial factor. I agree with that. Police saw what was going on and just sat there.
They were told to.
But all of a sudden, when there was a charge with these ammunition mask on and it coming at us, and we're standing there, the rest of the folk are in their clergy costume. I'm dressed just like I'm dressed now. And all of a sudden Antifa comes in swinging to protect us.
Well, let me tell you something.
Now you see, that kind of self-defense is very important. I think a right to self-defense is crucial.
But listen, I can't
tell that to the victims of Dayton,
let's
Ohio.
not make Antifa
Dylan Roof.
sound light, because they are a domestic terror group. They've attacked me multiple times. They've in my life.
Almost want to do part 4, but I gotta save something for the day. I gotta save something for the next stream. Yo, what's up? If you're on YouTube, please do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe. I hope I've done a good job in breaking this down for you. I hope my volume was low. I don't know why my volume was low. Yo, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you Friday.